What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again with definitely an instant classic in the making. All right, if this is your first time being introduced to the Dr. Mike TV channel, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you notify, do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Doc's content. All of my good stuff will be listed in the link in the description area below. Official time check, we're looking at what, about 8:30 in the PM Eastern Standard Time, which makes it about what, 7:32 Central, 5:32 for all of my brothers up in the West Coast, and of course, 9:30 in the AM Philippine Standard Time. Wherever you guys are reporting in the world today, maraming salamat sa lahat, and thank you guys for joining the Good Doc on what is poised to be one of his greatest live streams to date, filled with a lot of questions, a lot of potential concerns, a lot of relief. It's just going to be all across the board, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you guys are ready for this wild ride because it's about to get wicked. All right, Farsight, what's good with you, bro? I often wonder. No, actually, let me take it back. When I was in the Philippines back in 2019, I made a video about what I personally felt the Philippines would be like if they allowed or legalized divorce in the country. If you guys are able to look at the thumbnail for this particular video, the Philippines and Malta, Malta, are the only two, I repeat, the only two countries that do not allow for legalized divorce. Okay? And I used to tell myself, man, if the Philippines allowed for divorce in country, them lines, when the courts open up, are going to be wrapped around the building. I repeat, I used to tell myself all the time, if Philippines actually allowed for divorce, women of all walks of life, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. Give me a second. My bad. Women from all walks of life would be lining up around that building, circling that some bitch tenfold. Why? Because divorce is something that the country hasn't been able to allow ever. And if they allow it to happen, a lot of people are going to be in those lines awaiting for their chance to apply for divorce. Now, I guess many of you guys are well aware. Um, the Philippines does allow for annulment. Annulment is just basically a legal separation. For lack of a better term, in the general sense, it's just legal separation. Okay. So this legal separation with payment allows for you to legally separate but not divorce from your significant other. Okay. But I often think about what divorce actually means for the country as a whole. Now, Mike, I see what you're writing, but I'm gonna get my words out and I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to your comments in a second. I feel like it would definitely be detrimental to the country if they allow divorce. Why? I do believe that you will find that a lot of Filipinas and Filipino men in general will follow along the Western ways and kind of abuse the divorce system to an extent. But I want you to allow me to clarify. I honestly believe that the majority of the relationships in country, in reference to the people that are still together, the reason they are still together and held by bond and glued together is because they're not allowed to divorce. If they get into a relationship and they get married, because they're not allowed to divorce, they kind of find themselves stuck with a partner, whether they like that partner or not. I also believe that that glue has helped to somewhat create the culture within the country, if that makes sense. Filipinos are very much family like, but can you imagine if they allowed for divorce back in the day? I do not believe that strong family bond and strong family, cultural sense that we as foreigners on the outside looking in view in reference to how Filipinos and Filipinos are in their relationships. I do not believe that we would have that same viewpoint if divorce was allowed. because it would be an easy way for them to say, you know what, this ain't working out. All we have to do is file for irreconcilable differences. And guess what? Done. Fuck it. No more relationships. So this whole idea of the two-parent household, even though I'm not saying that that's pretty much the norm in the Philippines, but you can say that it is more normal than not. The two-parent household and things like that, that pretty much has created the foundation for a Filipina that maybe me and you are interested in dating. It helps to create that foundation for them to look at and look up to, right? So if they do allow for divorce, you'll find out that there will be a lot more single parent households than there are in the Philippines right now. Why? Because it'll be too easy for you to chuck the deuces and call it a day and quit the relationship as a whole. And I do believe that will be detrimental, and it will definitely open up a lot of the Western ways that we see people abusing the divorce system here in the United States. I believe that 1 in every 5 relationships in the United States ends in divorce. Maybe even less. 1 in every 4, 1 in every 3 marriages ends in divorce. Now, I want to share something with you guys if you will allow me to do so. Just give me a uno momento. I'm sorry, guys. I came across this particular article that I thought was extremely awesome. Something that I do believe is noteworthy. Again, this particular article came out about 3 months ago. It came out in August. I'll show you guys what I'm reading in a minute. Just give me a minute. I will bring that up so that you guys can see exactly what I'm trying to share with you. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. And I want to read this out loud with you guys so that you can understand that this is actually something that could potentially happen in the future. All right, this is something that could potentially happen in the future. So, from the Library of Congress, basically the article states, I hope that it's coming up. I hope that you guys can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it. Okay, you can see it. All right, so based on the article here, it says Philippines House of Representative bill on divorce approved in committee and referred to the House plenary for debate. All right, so this is something that they're actually thinking about making legal. Okay. So on August 17th, and I haven't done any further research or I haven't found anything that has told me anything new, but it says on August 17th of 2021, the Philippine government announced that a bill proposing the legalization of divorce in the Philippines had been approved by the Committee on Population and Family Relations of the House of Representatives. According to the announcement, the Philippines and the Vatican are currently the only 2 sovereign states in the world that still prohibits divorce. The announcement also explained that the approved bill includes the following grounds that may be invoked for filing for divorce: if you were separated from your spouse for at least 5 years, gender reassignment surgery. Wow, Mike, I wish you were on here with me, bro. That would have been a great one to talk about. Gender reassignment surgery or transitions from one sex to another by one of the spouses. That's a grounds for divorce. Irreconcilable marital differences. That's pretty much where everybody gets into a divorce. Domestic or marital abuse. A divorce decree obtained abroad by one of the spouses. So that's pretty much it. It goes into a couple of other things. I'm going to leave that link in the chat so that you guys can check it out. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is actually something that they're thinking about trying to get approved. Okay. This is something that they're actually thinking about trying to get approved. Divorce in the Philippines. I do believe that family structure, like I said, is foundational and super fucking important in the Philippines, that I can't personally see them allowing divorce in the country. It just doesn't seem like it's logical or plausible in any capacity that they will approve it. But the simple fact that it actually is going through is definitely not necessarily a cause for concern, but it makes me think, what would the Philippines be like if they allowed for divorce? Now, I'm looking at it from the foreigner's perspective on the outside looking in. And I will also give you a devil's advocate point of view as well. Like I said, from the outside looking in, I think it will definitely destroy the family image if they will allow for divorce to happen. Like I said prior, I believe that a lot of relationships in the Philippines are still together because they're not allowed to separate or divorce. A lot of people are living with their significant others that they can't stand in the Philippines right now. I could probably say that at least one in every 3 or 4 relationships are still together and holding strong simply because they can't get rid of one another. It's too expensive to annul. It's like close to $500,000. I'm sorry, why did I say dollars? Stupid. Pesos, about 10 grand to get an annulment. Now, if you want to be the dumb foreigner to marry a Filipina that's in a relationship and you want to pay for that, don't be a dumbass, but it could be plausible if you really love somebody that much. But on the flip side of it all, this is the devil's advocate point. A lot of foreigners refuse to get married in the Philippines because divorce is not, something that can happen. It kind of keeps you tied to that Filipina. But if divorce is something that is allowed and you do get married in the Philippines and you can get divorced in the Philippines, maybe you will be a little bit more, and I hate to say it this way, but a little bit more open minded to the idea of getting married, knowing that if it doesn't work out, you can find your way out of it quickly. I never want you guys to get into a relationship with the idea of trying to find a way out of it because you shouldn't be in a relationship anyways. I see my man Pedro. I saw what you wrote, man. You were like, yeah, you shouldn't just get married. And I agree with that. If you're not ready and that's not what you want and you're just looking to just, date long term and your partner is completely okay with that, go for it. But I will tell you this though. I want you to be very, very specific and very, very sure about the partners that you choose, right? Because there are some young ladies out there, and I will tell you this, and this is a topic of conversation that very rarely comes up. I don't know how serious you guys are in relationships. I don't know how serious you guys are in the intent of being in a relationship with a Filipino long term. Okay. But what I will tell you is this, man, if you're not wanting to have kids, if you do not want to bear children or have the young lady that you're with bear children, I'm telling you right now, tell her you do not want to have children. That way she can make an educated decision based on your ground rules. Because some Filipinas still want kids. And you cannot, I repeat, cannot be with a Filipina and not give her kids, especially if she's looking for one, because I think that will be detrimental to the growth of whatever you're trying to, build with this particular young lady. Some Filipinas want kids. A lot of them, if they don't have them yet, please believe, son, they want kids. But don't go in there trying to lead them on, believing that you're going to bear a child or give her a child or plant a seed in this chick, and you're not going to give it to her. Don't do that shit. Because that's going to be you taking away her best years to actually have kids, right? Because I know a lot of y'all are going to date younger. No shit, Sherlock. I'm not an idiot. So a lot of you guys are going to date younger. And as a result, you dating her long term, taking away her youth and not providing her or giving her a child because you don't want to, because you don't want kids, that's not going to be good for her and it's not going to be good for you. If you don't want kids, tell them up front, man. Don't lead them on. I think that's really where a lot of foreigners get it messed up. I kind of feel like that is way more messed up than fucking making up lies about bringing them to the United States. I think I put that in a tier just above, lying to them about bringing them back to your home country when you don't plan on doing it. Because if you're going to be with a girl, don't take away her best years to have kids if you're not looking to have it. Okay, be upfront from Jump Street, man. I'm telling you, it's not fair to them, right? It's not fair. Don't lead them on if you don't plan on having no kids. Just be honest with yourself and be honest with the people around you. Because I know a lot of foreigners that will drag a chick through the ringer, telling her all the things that you're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna plan to have kids and stuff like that. Because that's all she ever wanted. She wanted to start a family. If you don't plan on it, at least be honest and upfront. Again, I understand this is probably the reason why a lot of guys won't look forward to anything long term, because if you got to be upfront with it, then it's kind of like, okay, if she accepts it, okay, good. But then on the backside of that, what if, on the backside of it, if she already has kids, you're probably not going to want her anyway. So if you don't have kids, but she already has kids, and those kids are maybe grown or at least grown enough to where you ain't got to worry about it, then you'll find yourself dealing with women in an age bracket likely that you're not really comfortable with dealing with, or you're not actually interested in dealing with. So as a result of you dealing with a woman in an age bracket that's a little bit more on the mature side than you want to, a lot of you guys won't deal with them, but because you want to deal with a woman and not have kids with them, you kind of in a sticky situation, because if you date too young, You know there's a likelihood that they're going to want kids. But if you date too old, that's not necessarily your age range. And you got to understand that there's a high potential chance she's already going to have kids. So you either going to deal with a chick that has kids and don't want anymore, and she's on your level because you don't want anymore, or you don't want none at all. Or you're going to deal with a young lady and you're going to have to explain to her that you're not actually interested in bearing children of any kind. So at least be honest up front. If she says, no, I want kids, yo, man, you just casually make it happen, and it's gonna play out the way it's gonna play out. But as a foreigner, I would rather you guys be as honest and upfront as seemingly possible, especially with things like that. All right, please. I don't ask much, but at the very least, if you ain't trying to bear children, don't worry about it. All right, and I understand, like my man Pedro said, bro. I'm not interested. He's not probably interested in marriage at all. And if you're not interested, hey, be honest with that too, man. I'm just looking to, I want to date you and get to know you. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to commit the rest of my life to you, but I don't mind committing the rest of my life with you, as long as you understand that this is just, you're never going to bear my last name. It kind of sounds fucked up, don't it? All right, I know Mike put out that video about Filipinas not having to take the husband last name. Ugh, that makes me cringe, but you know, it is what it is. But shout out to my man Mike. I see he said the biggest mistake of it'd be the biggest mistake of divorce if I'm sorry, it'd be the biggest mistake if divorce gets approved. I agree, man. There's something about the dynamic of the family that I believe that is created by the structure in the Philippines, because divorce is not allowed, that creates a boundary that keeps the family structure together. A lot of people don't see it, but me being amidst it and among it, that's even the right word. I see what family dynamic is. I've seen people in relationships they can't stand. To be honest with you, I probably, had my fun every now and again. I mean, I can talk about it now because I'm no longer in country, but I've dealt with women that have been in relationships, and we're talking about married women, and they were just separated, or they really wasn't rocking with their husband. So, it was okay for them. But, heaven forbid, the husband found out, it wouldn't have been a good look. But divorce being approved could definitely be detrimental to the country and the family structure and dynamic in the country. All right. Yo, 14 in the building, man. I appreciate all 14 of you guys locking in with the good doc, man. You already know what to do, man. Y'all make sure you drop a like. Make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. If you guys are enjoying the topic and you want to support, please feel free to do so. But of course, I'm happy and blessed you choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now and then. 17 watching, 8 likes. Come on, man. Don't do me that bad. I mean, damn, I know I'm not the best on this bitch, even though I know I am the best on this bitch. But goddamn, at least give me a like if you're gonna show up, or a dislike. I don't give a fuck. Um, my man Mike says no financial support from the government. American women are given incentive for divorce, unlike in the Philippines. That is true. For women to divorce in the West and in most Western countries, especially in the United States, when you divorce a man, there is financial incentive. There is likely zero to none when it comes to financial incentives in a place like the Philippines. Absolutely correct. The government will not support that. The government will probably say, okay, you don't want to be with him. You don't want to be with her. Okay, we'll just call a spade, call it what it is, wham, bam, get it out of there. And you're good, right? It seems as though it wouldn't favor the woman in any capacity. But then again, Mike, let's go ahead and get a little deep, man. Let's go balls deep in this bitch. Most times the Filipina is usually the breadwinner anyway. So if we're thinking about it out loud, knowing that the Filipina is likely the breadwinner in the family, divorce would probably best suit her if she's supporting the guy than it would the guy who is being supported by her. So if we're going to take this the roundabout way, because usually in the United States, the guy is out there putting in the work and doing all that stuff. Not to say that in the Philippines, guys aren't out there working. I just believe that the women have the better job opportunities, whether it be working as a sales lady in the mall or Starbucks baristas or the opportunity to go abroad. These are usually opportunities that favor Filipinas more than the Filipino men. So if the woman is the primary breadwinner, I personally believe that in a sense, it could particularly benefit her more than it would benefit the guy. All right. And it's just going all in, man. We're having the conversation. It's an open debate, guys. I know it all goes full circle. He said if they legalize divorce, it just makes it that mimics closer. Yeah, it basically favors or mimics the West. That's why I believe it'd be a bad idea too. All right, shout out to my brother Pedro again. Like my man said, just don't get married, and you believe that it won't get approved. Oh yeah, that gender reassignment shit had me bugging. You mean to tell me I can divorce my significant other if they opt to change their gender? Mm, mm, mm. That's a chest beater right there, man, because that shit funny as hell to me. He said, unless they start giving spousal support, it will not be a big deal. Likely, like I said, I still believe that divorce favors the. Well, actually, divorce wouldn't favor the guy. But like I said, if the woman is the primary breadwinner of the family, all things considering, who does it really benefit? It's always a question. And I'm definitely intrigued to hear what you guys got to say, man. That's why we open dialogue this bitch. It will lead to less open-mindedness to getting married. In the Philippines, if they allow for divorce, it's all in or nothing. Don't like that divorce option. Very true, my brother. Very true. Either you're all in or you're not, because that's what marriage is in the Philippines. Again, in a country where they do not allow for divorce, ladies and gentlemen, you have a choice. Like, look, motherfucker, either you go stay with me for life, and when you say I do, you got to make sure that's a lifelong commitment, or you just don't marry me. That's what it's always been. Like you said, it is an all or nothing situation. And when it is all or nothing, you got to know that you are 100% willing. I will say this, not 100% sure that it's always going to go right, but you got to know that it would be 100% a W for you to get married. But if divorce becomes an option, it throws that monkey wrench in there, like I said, that, oh, it's going to basically mimic the West. Exactly like you said, wherein divorce is going to become that title that we just use or that term that we just throw out there, and marriages are going to carry less meaning, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I know Filipinos in relationships and they're dealing with third parties and all of that shit. I mean, that seems to be more common than not, especially in a country like the Philippines. But ideally, man, it's just there. It happens to be there. It's something that you accept, something that you deal with. At least that's what Filipinos are. But I do believe that in any capacity, if a man gets caught slipping, you can guarantee that somebody gonna be on the other side of that shit, waiting to flash them papers and shit. But then again, you guys know how divorce works, anyways. Both sides have to come to terms. If one side's not willing to deal, I honestly believe that will null and void any type of divorce decisions that could ever be made. Totally agree. He said with the honesty and the kid issue, it's unfair to be with a younger Filipino and expect her to never have a kid. You gotta let her go. Damn right, man. Don't lie to him. That's one thing. See, like I said, man, Doc doesn't have it all together, man. I'll look at you dead in your face and tell you I fuck up too. But if there's one thing that I do have, is that's a moral compass and a moral code. Am I always perfect? Absolutely not. I fuck up all the time, man. Sometimes I fuck up on the way up and I fuck up on the way down. But it's me. I'm human and I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to tell you guys right now, I ain't shit half the time. But I am who I am, but I have a code. I have a code and a moral compass and ethics that I don't break. Like I told you, I'll never tell a Filipina that I love them if I don't mean it. And I'll never sit there and take away her best years if I'm not willing to commit myself to her in that regard. Right? So again, with my situation with my young lady, I told y'all, man, I took away her best years. Me and her met when she was like 19 years old. Right? I love her to death, but baby girl was close to hitting the wall. She's at that age where she's close to damn near hitting the wall in the eyes of many, in the age range. So for me, that's a commitment that I made. I told myself, look, she been down with the boy for a long time. So it's almost as if I owe it to her because we both on that level and we both had this general understanding. And I told myself, I'm not really big on starting over, especially if my situation is fine the way that it is, right? But it's not going to be the same for everybody. But imagine if we get married in the Philippines, I won't be able to divorce her. Not saying that if we do get married, my first thought is, how can I get the fuck up out of this? That should never be your thought. If that is your thought, we got to go back to what my man Pedro said and just don't get married. You feel me? Yo, 12 in the building. I hope y'all dropping them likes. All right, because we getting it in tonight. Don't play with me, man. Y'all know there is nobody on earth that can carry a live stream like your boy. If you find anybody, let me know. I would love that. I would love to have that conversation. He says, don't want to come back to the US, but open to a child for sure for me. He said, I'm very upfront with that. So you're saying that you don't want to bring him back to the US, but open to bearing child with her, open for her to have a kid, but in the Philippines, that's fine. Shout out to my brother Earl Owens. You damn right, man. Tell the truth, man. Shit. Tell the truth, shame the devil. So them old people in the church be like, he said, dating young with kids, it's a package deal. Gotta accept that or move on. Very true. If you're gonna try to find that sweet spot where a Filipina is so old but without kids and she's not looking to have kids, then she's too old for most of you guys. But you can't be with a 20, 21-year old and have the idea that she's not looking to at least be family or at least have a family. That's just crazy. It's crazy to think that a Filipino would be okay with that, right? I don't care if she says she is or not. That's not cool, all right? No Filipino in their right mind to tell you that they're okay with not having kids and they're in their 20s. It's rare. But then again, it would be hard for me to believe that they mean it, especially when they keep bringing it up. And if you ever want to know how it is with Filipinas and kids and shit, all you have to do is see how she interacts with younger nieces and nephews. I know they got them around. It's the Philippines, bro. You know, they be breeding crumb snatchers out the gate out there in the Philippines, bro. So see how she interacts with young nieces and nephews and, you know, see how she is when she's around her friends that have kids, right? Because sometimes it's that look in their eye, man. They may have told you it's okay, it's okay. I don't want to have kids. I'd rather be with you. My relationship with you means more than having kids. But look at how she interacts with kids and look at how she interacts with her friends that have kids. And you'll see that glimmer in her eye, like she's looking to be a mother herself one day. That right there will tell you everything that you need to know. True story. Doc's gonna go ahead and lay it on you. I told you this story before, but it's all for my newbies or the ones in the background who have never heard this story. Let me go ahead and lay it out for you. It's a very quick one, so Doc's gonna rock out. All right, here it goes. Once upon a time, I almost got caught up with some kids. Like I almost got caught up in having kids. There was this girl that I used to until this day, she's dope. Like she's a great person with a great personality. She's awesome, right? She's really good. She's a really good person overall. And one day she texts me out the blue. Now me and her, we casually did our thing. I'll let you know that we were casually I wouldn't say in a relationship, but it was casual. You feel me? So she told me one day that she just wanted kids. Like she wanted me to be the father of her kids. Now this is through text message. You feel me? This is through text message, but in that moment, I almost felt an obligation to give her what she wanted. Okay? I almost felt an obligation to give this young lady what she wanted. She wanted me, she chose me, she opted to say, Doc, at the time I wasn't Doc, but you get the point. I want you to be the father of my kid. I'm not asking you to commit to me in any capacity, but I want you to be the father of my kid. What the fuck does a man say to something like that? What in the world does a man say to something like that? I want you to understand this girl, whenever she gets pregnant, she is going to be an amazing mother. I know this because I've had interactions with her. It wasn't as if I just met her on an internet dating site and it just so happened to play itself out. No, I knew her personally in my personal life. She even knew my real fucking name. That's the scary part. She knew my real name. You feel me? So that shows you how much I had trust in her. This was about the phase out of the Marcus phase into the other phase. But anyways, um, she looked at me dead in the face, and I'm sorry, she didn't look at me dead in the face, but she sent me this text message, and she was dead ass serious. And at that moment, I felt an obligation to give it to her. If we were there in the moment, I tell you right now, she would be mothering my kid right now, guaranteed, right? But I had to think, man, this is not a smart move for myself. Still in school, man, still trying to figure my life out. It's not a good look, nor is it a good move. But she told me dead ass, she's like, I'm not looking for anything from you. I don't need you to support me. But come on, man. Of course I'm going to support you. Of course I'm going to be there. I have a moral obligation and a code of ethics that I told you motherfuckers that I follow that would not allow me to just give you a child and not want to be a part of the child's life. So thank God it never ended up happening. There was a big massive blow up, and that's the reason why we don't talk too much anymore. Every now and again she may say hi to me, but Most of the time, she don't fuck with the boy no more. But it's bad juju when women try to thirst trap you like that. But it wasn't really a trap to me. I didn't feel it, but I'm just glad it never happened. He said, honestly, always works for me unless I'm drunk. then I'm in the Wu Tang. I know what you mean. Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Divorce in the Philippines would equal chaos, likely. Dave, what's good, man? What's good with you, man? He says there is no way in this world that my penile would come to my country. So just as well she is married. You mean to tell me if she? Okay, I think I know what you're saying. My bad, brother. I kind of fucked that up. My man, Red, what's good? Divorce is the last step to full feminism. In the Philippines, not a bad way to look at it. Mm, 13 in the building. 13 in the building. Hey, boo. Baby girl, this was way before your time, boo. That's why I never did anything. Anywho, divorce is the last step for full feminism. True. 37% of births in the Philippines are from unwed mothers. That is the truth. There's a lot of single mothers in the Philippines. Crazy. He said, Doc, it's a slippery slope. Divorce at first won't include confiscation of man's assets, but it would eventually. Maybe. Women would lose. I don't know about that. I don't know. Highest group of single mothers are in the 19 to 25-year age range. So nowadays, the younger penas have a higher rate of single motherhood. You got to understand, Filipinos are very fertile. Some fertile ass people. Filipinos are super fertile. Kurt, what's going on with you, man? He says, without the Philippines is broke. They're the ones that are the OFWs. True. They are the ones that are running the businesses for the most part. Without them, there are very little tourism. Women are more valuable in the Philippines than the men. That's a hard pill to swallow, but okay. Divorce will be a lot different there. I do believe that it could potentially be more patriarchal, beneficial than not. Maybe not. I don't know. 16 to 18 fastest growth of 16 to 18 years of age is the fastest growth of women getting pregnant. Probably. I can see that. They're fertile as hell, man. Misogynistic societies, women would lose. Maybe. I'm on two different phones. Drop 2 likes, top that. JD, I appreciate the like, bro. I appreciate the double drop. Shout out to my man Jamal. He said, wouldn't legalized divorce only affect Filipinos? For foreigners, I thought we had a special clause because our country's origin allowed divorces. Yes, we can marry a Filipina in the Philippines and then divorce in the United States. There is a clause that will allow us to divorce them while we're in the United States. True. But I'm kind of saying, no, you never get into a relationship thinking that you're going to divorce. I'm going to make sure I note that. But also, in the Philippines, if you do get married in the Philippines, it's like iron fucking clad. Like, because divorce is not legal, I do believe that you're kind of going to have to jump through some serious hoops and pay some serious paper in order for you to have that divorce legalized in the United States. So it's kind of like, yeah, even with the specialized clause in there, I kind of feel like if you do allow divorce across the board, it'll make it easier for you to divorce if you're not really feeling the relationship, in a place like the Philippines. I don't think the family structure will change. In the Philippines, it's very necessary to have a strong family structure to survive. Very true. But I'm kind of fixated on, and don't ask me why, I'm very much fixated on what divorce would have been like had it been legalized probably 10 years ago. Do we still have, like, if you legalize divorce in the year 2022, hypothetically, if you legalize divorce in the year 2022, imagine divorce in 2022, 10 years from that point, I can honestly believe that we would see a dynamic and structure within the family change. That's just me. That's just me. I do believe that you would see that particular transition shift. You know, things that we have to think about. I just feel like if you allow it and divorce starts to become a constant and something that is regular in society, can't nobody tell me otherwise that it's not going to change the family structure, at least in how I'm viewing it. And like I said, it could stay the same because of the past. And of course, if you're listening to your elders and your ancestors or whatever, and the people that came before you know you're gonna stay in this relationship whether you like it or not. True. That could be true. But I do believe that there's something psychological about it that could have a dramatic effect on it if divorce becomes a constant in the Philippines, much like it is in the United States, right? Think about it, man. Like I said, one in every three marriages end in divorce in like the United States, something like that. One in every three, one in every five, right? One in every three, one in every five. So imagine if that's the same rate that Filipinas or Filipino people will start getting divorced if it's legalized. I just can't see the dynamic of the family structure staying the same. Frank says tons of single moms in the on Filipino Cupid. No thanks, exit stage, right? He says, yeah, Filipina may say she does not want kids, but then you get it in and you're not slipped, and then she's got you. True that. Craziness. Unicorns are the mythical creatures. They do not exist. No single mothers exit stage left. He said, you should have taken one for the team. No, thank you. Baby girl, told y'all, Shay should say hello to my young lady. Baby girl, I told you that was way before your time. And why am I going to talk about past shit? That is a no go, love. You know better than that. Y'all know I love my girl. Stop playing. But anyways, like I was saying, divorce in the Philippines, guys, that shit is real. That shit is real. Everyone on the planet should have the option to divorce. Hmm. Hmm. I don't see anything wrong with that. Everybody in the Philippines should have the option. I'm sorry, on the planet Earth should have the option for divorce. You're right. I can't say that I'm against it, but then again, I know what divorce means to like. ugh, damn, that's a hard one. That's a hard one because I know what divorce could potentially lead to. The legalization of that in the Philippines, in a country where it was never legalized before. It's not as if it was legal, then it became illegal, and then it became legal again. It was literally legal consistently. I mean, illegal to get divorced, I'm sorry, on a consistent basis. So imagine if it becomes legal, I do believe that that building at the courthouse, they will be wrapped around that building tenfold. I just can't see it any other way. But to have that option, I do believe that we do have to accept the potential ramifications of what could come as a result of that option. Right? We see what it does here in the United States to family. Look at the family dynamic now. Look at how relevant and okay it is to be a single mother. Look at how relevant and okay it is for you to raise a child by itself without his father. Look at how they shit on us as fathers in general, or shit on men in general, and call us bad fathers, as a result of us not being in that child's life because the mother's not going to allow us to see the kid. And y'all already know, man, if you're a foreigner and you're having a child with a Filipina, you cannot separate that child from its mother for the first 7 years. I don't know if you know that, but there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to separate that child from the mother for at least the first 7 years. So you're going to be dealing with that woman indefinitely, whether you're divorcing her or not. Will they be talking about child support and all of that stuff? That could be something that could be thrown in there as well. Something that we just don't talk about, you feel? But it's something that you need to think about if divorce and things like that are allowed. Shout out to my man James Thomas. What's good? He says, Doc, is it true that Muslims can divorce under the Sharia Court System in the Philippines, Sharia law? I do believe so. I do believe so. I do believe that that is pretty much standard in the Muslim culture, so it doesn't necessarily matter if what particular country they are in. But then again, that's under the guise of different rules and regulations and different religious beliefs. I kind of believe under the Christian faith and then the understanding that there is supposed to be a separation of church and state in the Philippines, even though it's not. There is no separation of church and state. Understandably so, a lot of what is guiding the lawmaking in the Philippines is purely based on the religious belief that one man should be for one woman. I believe that. Maybe that's just me, but I do believe that under the guise of different religious beliefs, that could be possible. I still don't hear about it a lot, right? I still don't hear about shit like that happening at all, even in the Muslim culture. I do believe that you have to present a legit reason as to why you're going to divorce that wife. Maybe she can't bear children, something to that effect. There was some other stuff in there that I missed out, but I know that the idea of not being able to bear children plays a major role. All right. But in general, man, like I said, I see we got 11 in the building, man. I appreciate y'all locking in. Make sure y'all drop a like. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. And once it needs it, most definitely has to have it. If you guys want to support, please feel free to do so. But of course, I'm happy and blessed you choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now and then, let's get back to business. My man said, if the women are running things, what the hell do the guys do? Frank, do you remember that story that we told you a long time ago about Filipinas like taking care of their man and shit, and how I told you that my love can be bought? That is exactly what most do. I'm not saying that guys don't work, man, but when Filipinas are literally running households and making the money for the most part, you can almost guarantee that the guy is at home getting drunk and getting fucked up, bro. It is what it is, man. And you see them at the corner store in the middle of the day. Somebody got to be supporting that ass. He said, my girl's parents never got married and they're still together. They probably are together because they didn't get married. Let me note that. They're probably together because they didn't get married. Maybe they realized that we are better off dating than actually making it official, because it's almost crazy when situations like this happen. You hear about relationships, about people dating for like 10 fucking years, right? The minute they say I do, they're fucking divorced in like 8 months. Some people find it better to not make that particular commitment. And some people are more comfortable living a life where that particular commitment is not actually made. So if your girl's parents are good together and they don't need the marriage to make anything official like a whistle, then why fuck up a good thing? Again, it goes both ways. Both parties have to be equally okay with the idea of, you know, but some people are not. Some people are not. It is what it is. Anyways, guys, 12 in the building, man. I hope you're dropping your like if you haven't already. Locking in. I was dealing with a Filipina that was married in the Philippines to an American. He divorced her in the US. She still needed an annulment in the PI. It's like 3,000 USD. Yeah. Like I said, it still can be expensive. It's going to cost you in the back end. If you really want to divorce her, especially if you're the one that initiated it, oh, you're going to pay for it regardless. It is what it is. Can't avoid it. In the U.S., women initiate 7 to 80% of divorces. True. They do it around the age of 38 and 44. Weird. After you hit the wall, that's crazy. He said once they are already cheating with the new man and cash in to take your assets, let's keep the Philippines the Philippines. Touche, my brother. Never change a good thing. Don't fuck up a good thing. Greater than 70% of divorces are initiated by women in the US. They said 85, I think, close to 85%. But again, that data numbers switch quite often. Believe me, divorce is awful for the couple and the kids. It's not a good thing. Yes, I know a lot of people who have gone through divorce. Thank God I haven't experienced that, but I do have, my people that have gone through it. And it's a nasty, ugly, long fucking process. And it's very tedious and it's very expensive. If you fucking divorce is expensive, guys. I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish that on nobody. Don't need marriage or divorce to hold men accountable for child support. Totally separate issue. It could be. Yeah, it probably is. I just, I'm not sure I don't know how the child support system in the Philippines works, because you hear about so many people that are able to duck and dodge it. It's something that it comes up, but it's so rare, especially when the foreigner is involved in the taking care of the kid and stuff. You know, it's not exactly a topic of discussion especially for foreign men, mainly because you just don't hear about it often. Like, there's probably some system in place, but is it being exercised and implemented? I don't know. What's the Philippines take on abortion? Wow. I don't believe it's legal. I don't. It's not. It's not. I do not believe it's legal at all. Somebody please tell me if I'm wrong. I do believe that it is not legal to get an abortion in the Philippines. I believe that's written in somebody's laws. He said, yes, I read that Muslims can divorce. A woman in Islam is allowed to divorce. That makes me wonder why more Filipinos don't go that route, bro. Committing yourself to the, how can I say this? Committing yourself to what is required for you to practice that particular faith can be a lot. It's a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. To me, it's a lot. Like, and if you're not willing to follow the faith, the Quran and all that comes with it, verbatim, do what you're supposed to do. I think there's like, I wouldn't say there's punishments, but yeah, man, there's like punishments that come with that stuff. I mean, being a Christian person, I don't know. It's different. No divorce in the Philippines because the rich politicians wouldn't want their wives to have the option. The rich ones. Let us not forget about the one percenters. That's a different. Actually, the one percenters are the ones that have the money to divorce when they want to. That's the crazy part. They're the ones that can actually pay for it. You hear about Philippine celebrities getting annulments all the time. I believe Sharon Cuneta. No, not Sharon Cuneta. No, Sharon. Yeah, is that her name? Cuneta? No, Sharon. Yeah, Sharon Cuneta. Is that her name? Oh, fucking no, I forgot. She got an annulment. You hear about Filipino celebrities annulling all the fucking time because they can afford to do it. You feel me? So you would think that in the essence of protecting assets, you wouldn't want to get divorced, but it happens more often than not with the richer people who can actually afford the annulment. The majority of the people here won't be able to afford it. Yes, man, they will not be able to afford it because I still think that annulment is, like I said, $10,000, close to 500,000 pesos. Even divorce in the Philippines, I can tell you right now, it'd be expensive. I do believe that divorce will basically carry. They will probably be able to pay off the debt that the Philippines has accrued if they allow divorce to happen. But then again, they're not going to be able to charge your everyday normal people the amount of money it would take to actually get divorced. Right? And most people wouldn't be able to afford it, and as a result, they wouldn't do it. As a result, they would not do it. He said, I just want to get a Filipino who will let me play a what? Drink white wine and stagger home. My man, we gotta want more for your life than that. So my girl believes that I think my girl's saying that divorce should be legal. Baby girl, is that what you're saying? You believe that divorce should be an option in the Philippines? I don't know. I mean, we never talked about it because clearly I told her straight up, once you marry me, you stuck with me. Fuck it. I told her that from Jump Street. If I say I do, you just stuck. Right? That's our life for the rest of our lives. We're done. That shit happens more often than not in my family, and I'm trying to break that mold. So if I say I do and you say it too, you stuck with me. Fuck it. You know that shit from Jump Street. If you can't figure out if you don't fuck with me right now, once you say I do, you just stuck. We here. But it's all love. Hey, yeah. Yo, 16 in the building, man. I better get them likes. Big facts. Appreciate y'all. Abortion is not legal. Didn't think so. I did not think so. Because people be doing some back alley, fucked up, put a coat hanger up in my coochie type shit. It's weird. I've seen it. I don't know. Let me back up. I'm lying. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about people doing that, and they be fucking their kids up, man. Don't ever get divorced in California. You'll walk away. You'll walk out of the court butt naked. I don't plan on living in Cali. Fuck all that. Abortion is another door to feminism. Sharon Cuneta and Gabby Conception. Thank you. I was right. It was Sharon Cuneta. My man Mike coming through clutch because I've been off of my Philippine shit for a while, but I do remember they did get a annulment. So they're one of very few celebrity couples that have annulled in the past. So it's more plausible with the, how can I say this? It's more plausible, or it's a possibility of it happening more with the richer upper echelon people than you're likely going to find with your everyday people. So your everyday family structure could still be solid and sound, as you age. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? 10K plus 5 to 7K if you want it done in less than 2 years. Damn. So you're going to pay at least close to $20,000. That's enough to make my heart stop. Mahjong. There you go. I'm sorry. I've never played it. I saw that in Crazy Rich Asians, man. That's how I learned how to play that shit. He said abortion and divorce. He said you're ready to divorce me and we ain't even married yet. What you talking about? I said no, ma'am. I said once you say I do, you stuck with me forever. You know that, right? And I don't care. I'm telling you in front of everybody. I tell everybody the truth. I said I am not. I don't believe in divorce like that. So if I say I do, you just gonna have to sit there and be happy and unhappy at the exact same time. That's the truth. And the truth shall set us free. I don't care if you don't like me. I say you better figure out if you like me or not before I say I do, love, because once you say I do, you just gonna have to sit there and deal with me. That is the truth. I tell her that all the time, and she think I'm playing. I tell the truth. Mm. Anyways, guys, man, 16 in the building. I appreciate y'all locking in. Drop a like for Doc. Doc, I highly appreciate that one. You want to support, please feel free to do so. But of course, I'm happy and blessed you choose to kick it with your boy today, Nayan. Damn. Divorce is okay with you? Nothing wrong with divorce, ish. He said, you lie. You always tell me you ready to divorce me. Damn, son. Put my business out there in the street. Don't do me like that, love. Shit. We are in mixed company. Don't be telling people my business. I do be telling her that shit though. I be lying. You're right. I do be telling her. I said, you be getting on my nerves, girl. I'm already ready to divorce you, and I ain't even said I do yet. I do be saying that. I truly do. I be joking though, I think. I be joking, I think. My man said I see two red flags already. Uh-oh, Spadudios. Anyways, the abortion pill can solve a lot of problems. That's what a lot of them do. Me and my college girlfriend went that route. Frank, thank you for being candid and honest. Oh man, said I think you already stuck at the hip with her. He said nothing wrong with that. Yeah, man, she's a part of me, man. Can't get rid of her even if I tried. I've tried, gentlemen. I've tried. She's still here. Now I'm fucking with you. Let me not say anything that's gonna really get my ass kicked when I get offline. But I'm good, man. I'm Gucci. I told y'all, man, from Jump Street. I tell myself this all the time, and I tell her straight up. I said I fucks with you. You're my girl, and I like you a lot. And I tell her, hypothetically, and I only say this in the hypothetical of all hypotheticals. If it didn't work out between me and her, I told her I ain't never gonna get married, and I'm never gonna marry anybody else. If I'm not marrying her, I even told y'all that on the live stream. If it ain't gonna be her, it ain't gonna be nobody. Because I don't believe in fucking starting all over and putting in as much time as I've invested in what we got here. Man, I do not believe in starting all over. I will just literally sleep my way through the Philippines and live my best life if I don't marry her. So that's the truth. So she ain't got nothing to worry about. So y'all remember that story, right? About the dude that said, you remember that there was a video that came out about a girl that said she wanted to divorce her husband because he said that if she went missing for like 5 years, um if she went missing for like 5 years and she came back and he was with another woman, she was like, yo, you should divorce her or some shit. And he was like, nah, man, I'm gonna stay with her, because apparently I fell in love with her. Why am I gonna leave my new girl when I only got with her because I thought you were gone, right? And it was a whole fucking TikTok thing or whatever that was somebody did a review on that I watched. But for me, I tell you straight up, I want everybody to hear my words because I ain't got nothing to lie about. That young lady is mine. Okay. And if I don't marry her, I won't marry nobody. If it ain't me and her, it ain't gonna be nobody. Fuck it. Like I said, I will literally sleep my way through the Philippines and I'll just live my life like that. I won't hurt myself trying to start all over and trying to get to know somebody and trying to do all that extra shit that a relationship requires, like energy and shit like that. Because again, I believe in putting in as much as I get out of it. How I deem putting information in and putting in work. If it ain't gonna work out between who I'm with now, fuck it. I'm just gonna stay single, bro. That's life, and that's my truth. So I don't, like I said, I ain't about to start all over, man. Fuck all that. Not when I know what I know now. Fuck all that, man. Shit. He said, Doc, in the U.S., it doesn't matter what man wants. If she files in court divorce, you can't stop it, and massive financial loss coming to you, man. I think I'll be all right, bro. I understand, but I'll be all right. And the girl made the scenario, and she said he was the love. Yeah, I remember that. She went through all of that. She created the scenario. She said the love part and all of that. She said she got mad at him. She created the scenario and got him in trouble. It was definitely a trap. Sometimes you're better off not answering those particular questions. Whenever they're formulated by your significant other, you're just better off not answering those questions at all because they always lead to trouble. That's some shit I don't need in my life, gents. I don't know about y'all. Anywho, we got 17 in the building, man. I appreciate all 17 of y'all locking in with the good document. Make sure you drop your like. Make sure you caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has a habit. If you guys want to support, please feel free to do so. But of course, I am happy and blessed you choose to come through. Spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Nayon Den. Let's go. My man, Big Brother, what's good with you, man? He says, funny how some divorced men complain about losing everything in a divorce, fall in love with a married P9 and complain that there is no divorce in the Philippines. We can't have it. We cannot have it our way like a Burger King commercial, I guess. Whatever. It is what it is, but I'm still here and I'm still kicking some. Amen to that, gentlemen. Amen to that. All right. Frank, did I see Mike's video on the list? Mike, you got to reiterate to me the list. Like if Mike typed out his entire list, because I don't know the exact approach he took on that one. I had a video that I put out something similar to it. I mean, but that was like years ago, and I'm pretty sure that since that time, my whole thought process about where to find, the good Filipinos and shit like that has probably changed. Maybe not. I just got to go through and see Mike's list before I give my list, because really, I just want to see if I agree or disagree. He said, "Do people have to pay any spousal support or child support if there is an annulment?" I am not aware. I really don't know. Could be, but I don't know, my boy. I do not know. The bad part is the woman can sometimes get money even if she stepped out on the man in the marriage. I've heard of that. There's been this whole finesse system. I know. Sucks ass. Mm, it happens, man. I agree. But that's just what it is, bro. Like I said, divorce in the US does not favor men at all. At all. But what else can I say? Give me a second, y'all. My man says, Doc, embarrassed to even put online the money. He said, Doc, I'm embarrassed to even put online the amount of money I had to pay out. That's why I never again even had a coffee with an American girl again and reemerged to the Philippines. Look, man, I've heard of bad situations, man. I don't judge because I don't know. I never want to experience that feeling. I know. And everybody and their mama will be like, yo, if you don't wanna, if you don't want to deal with this shit, don't get married. But sometimes it's like, yo, man, you gotta give yourself an opportunity. I understand guys who have gone through the ringer, right? I understand that. I understand all the guys that have been through some shit, especially if kids were involved and spousal support, child support, and all of that shit was all a part of the package. I understand. I truly do. I truly do understand that. So I understand why you guys wouldn't want to go through it. But, guys who still believe in marriage or people who still believe in, that you can really get into a good relationship and make it work, people who haven't gone through the system or gone through the process yet, you shouldn't think in your mind that it's only an inevitable fact that you're going to end up getting divorced anyways. That's not how I want to go into any type of relationship that I'm in, right? I get it. I understand. Like I said, divorce is a very touchy subject. Let me make sure I should have noted this in the beginning, but let me go ahead and say it right now. Divorce is a very, very touchy subject on a lot of guys, right? A lot of guys don't fuck with it. A lot of guys ain't trying to hear about it because they're going through the process. They know the pain, the heartache, and the financial sacrifice it takes to get divorced, right? I know y'all know that shit, right? But then again, from some guy who's never been through it, I understand you're trying to just warn everybody else. I understand that shit. But you gotta understand that in when it's all said and done, it's kind of like, yo, the guy is going to end up doing what he's going to want to do anyways. I understand your point of views. I do not disagree with your point of views. I've heard people consistently tell me what divorce is like. Okay. And I know that shit. It sucks. It sounds like the most painful, heartbreaking situation that a man could ever go through in life. But then again, I don't think that you should get into relationships thinking that, well, I'm gonna divorce this girl, or if I get into a divorce with this girl, how much do I stand to lose? You know, you should, excuse me, goddamn, that drink hit me different. But, you know, it's kind of like you shouldn't go into the game thinking like that. So I try not to think like that. All right. But yeah, it is what it is, man. I understand everybody's viewpoints. Like I said, this is a topic that we never really fucked with and never really touched on. But I am glad that we did. All right, 15 in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all drop that like. Shit. Let me make sure I didn't miss any comments. He says, I think many would take the chance of getting married in the Philippines. Sounds like it would be a better deal than the Matrix. I agree with that. Seems like if I'm gonna get married, it's probably best to get married in the Philippines. He said, how was the leg room on the flights to Davao? If you're a tall dude, man, you're gonna struggle. So make sure you get one of them seats that are sitting next to like the airplane door, right? So that you get that extra leg space. I'm a relatively short dude. I'm tall in the Philippines, but I'm relatively short, clocking in at about 5'8", 5'9" on a good day. You feel me? So the seat, spacing between doesn't really bother me. But I do know that for some of my guys who are a little bit taller, just make sure that if you're flying economy like I would, you just try to get a seat near the door so that you can get that extra leg space. So that's in any flight because they build them seats for Filipinos. So you got to understand that sometimes that leg space and stuff may not be as spacious as you thought it would. He said, I'd marry in the Philippines, just the pandemic is getting in the way. Touche. What airline do I recommend? Bro, I'm telling you right now, don't ask me because I could go through this all day long. I fly Air Asia because it's cheap. All right. I fly Air Asia because it's cheap. I love cheap flights. I'm a cheap dude, but doesn't mean because it's cheap, it's the best. I believe that Philippine Airlines, you pay a little bit more, but I do believe they are a quality airline in the Philippines. Philippine Airlines is a quality airline. Cebu Pacific is hit and miss. They miss more often than they hit with me, but Cebu Pacific is definitely hit and miss. Okay. That's it. You got Air Asia, which I use most of the time in the Philippines. Cebu Pacific is super miss before they hit, but also you have what was the last one? Philippine Airlines. I believe Philippine Airlines is probably the best one in the country. If I had to give you my legit recommendation, Air Asia is cheap for me, so I fly it because I'm broke as hell. But definitely, yeah, Philippine Airlines hits the spot. Open to marriage, but only in the Philippines, not in the West. True, I could rock with that. He said she can get sued for abandonment for stepping out, but guys are too embarrassed to follow through. Bullshit. If you abandon me, I'm telling you. Hey, I'm crying. I'm at the office. Like, she done ran away, bro. She done ran away. Shout out to my fam, Tony, T. What's good with you, man? Only rich men and poor men should marry. If you have enough, you won't come out poor. If you're poor, you lost nothing. The rest of the men, you just lose. Eh? Who would sue the other man though? You said you could do that. You can do that in NC? Shit. Oh, I'm snitching, bitch. Nobody wants to come out looking like a bitch. That's probably why. So you probably can hear that too much. Cebu Pacific has the prettiest flight attendants. I like Air Asia flight attendants, bro. Can't cap, man. I think Air Asia flight attendants hit the spot. Philippine Airlines, they alright. But I do think I like Air Asia though. Air Asia and Cebu Pacific are the cheaper ones than PAL. I don't care about quality for a 58-minute flight. Like I said, man, I'm all day, every day an Air Asia guy. Super cheap, hits the spot. But if you're a taller gentleman, just make sure you get that aisle seat. That's all. Is Air Asia the spirit of the Philippines? Yes, but without all the ratchetness. Right? Y'all know Spirit Air is known for some ratchet fucking behavior. So we do not have to deal with ratchet behavior or any of that ghetto shit like you probably would on like an airline like Spirit Air. But at least here, I mean, in the Philippines, I mean, you really ain't got to worry about it like that. He said, good point, Red. He said, I am on the poor end of the spectrum, not much to lose. If she goes, she goes. That's me, man. I'm broke as hell. I ain't got shit. So, I mean, like, literally, I have no assets. I don't have anything. So, like I said, for me, I don't, it's like divorce is just meaningless because I tell people, you ain't going to get much from me. Doc is broke, right? Doc is broke. But anyways, guys, yo, I see we got 16 in the building, man. If you haven't dropped your like, Doc would highly appreciate that one. I appreciate you guys locking in, spend a little bit of time with the homie today. I felt like we had a great live show. I felt that the participation was on point, and I appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the energy. You guys make this fun for me. Again, I couldn't do this without you. Shout out to all my silent partners in the background. Y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know who y'all are. The people in the background who just turn me on and just listen. Whatever the fuck you doing. Big facts. I appreciate y'all more than anything because you just sitting in the background listening does more than you'll ever know. To all of my people who participate in the chat, man, y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the energy that you give me. I appreciate the conversations. You know what I mean? I appreciate the conversation because, like I said, if anything, I'd be on here talking to myself. So just wanted to make sure I get my thank yous out the way. Madami, salamat sa lahat. Thank you guys for joining the good doc. Also, madami, salamat sa el soporta. Thank you guys for any support that you've given me, listening in, liking, and all that shit. It means everything. All right. So my man Noble Hunt, what's good with you, man? He says, how long are the flights? Depends, man. If you're flying from Manila to Davao, it's like an hour and 40, hour and 30 minutes. I think the waiting game really fucks with your head the most. Yeah, it's a lot of waiting sometimes, depending on what airline you use. Cebu Pacific, you will be waiting a lot because they're never on time. I kind of feel like Air Asia be running. they be trying to get us there as quick as humanly possible. But yeah, that's life. But yeah, the flight's hour and 40 minutes, hour 30 minutes. If you're flying to the major cities, Davao, Manila, Cebu, places like that, that's pretty much your flight expectation. Estimated time of arrival at about hour 30, hour 40 minutes. I did watch Soul Plane, man, and no thank you. No thank you. I'm good. He said, damn, Doc, who cares what they what they look like? I'm more concerned about how well they land. True that. True that. My man said, you're broken money and rich in love. Hey, I'll take that every day of the week, man. Why? Because we all look, man, some of the best relationships last because money is not a factor. Shit. And sometimes I feel like I can't even say that with a straight face. But the best relationships last when money is not the main attraction. I don't know how I could word that, but y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Mm. My man says on a different topic, Doc, are you okay? I mean, I heard Calvin and another brother in the Philippines are getting way too much love, if you see what I mean. Hold on. Am I good? Has anybody talked about me? I'm too small, man. Shit. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm too small to be hated on, bro. Who's the other guy? I heard about Calvin getting a little bit of attention in the negative light. I did hear about that one, but that was only because Mike made a video about it that I heard about it. But yeah, I'm good, bro. I don't think nobody really gives a fuck about Doc like that, you know? I'm in my little corner of the world. I'm on my own damn business. I stay out the way. I keep it pushing. Y'all fuck with me or you don't fuck with me. It is what it is. And I told you, I make it hard for people to troll on me, bro. I do that shit on purpose. I think I'm too much into the mental gymnastics of it all that people don't really fuck with me too much. Eventually, I'm pretty sure that if I grow into heights beyond measure, or if I start to reach the numbers that everybody else is getting, it's going to come with some hate. It's supposed to. If you're growing and nobody's hating on you, it's a stone cold miracle that you can allow that to happen. But every now and again, there's gonna come a point when somebody's gonna try to fucking chop you down. It comes with the territory, bro. I'm okay with it. I have to understand and accept it. When you are a personality on I don't even know if YouTube's a social site, but when you're a personality on a platform where you put out videos for people to make and pass judgment on you, guess what? They are gonna talk that shit to you. These trolls are going to do everything in their mind, humanly, and they're gonna do everything that they can possibly do to fuck with you. It comes with the territory, Pippin. I accepted that from day one. I accepted that eventually people ain't gonna fuck with me. Or eventually somebody's gonna turn on me. Or eventually somebody is gonna like me, then they're gonna hate me. Or eventually there's gonna be a group of people who are gonna try to launch some serious personal attacks on my character and behavior and the value that I bring to YouTube just because they feel like they can. You know? I'm okay with that. I have to, within my heart of hearts, understand that they gonna come for me eventually, right? And as long as I am aware that these people have the tendency to come for me, I gotta be ready for it. And I'm always ready for it. Guys, I've been shitted on before. I've had people attack me or say negative things about me, slander my character as an individual and shit like that, talk about my content, question me on everything that I do, question me on what I say and or do. That's the point when you're giving an opinion. When you're talking from personal experiences or things of that nature, when you give an opinion, people are going to hate. I do not believe personally, now this is truth, I do not believe that I get as much hate as anybody else in this sector, right? With the number of subscribers that I have, I've seen the way that they hate on everybody else. I have not received any hate like other people have received, right? And I'm cool with that. I sit in the background, I stay in my lane, I talk my shit, and I keep it pushing. You want to know why? Because as long as you stay on your path and as long as you do what you're supposed to do, or you feel that you do what you've been put on earth to do, guess what? You can't fuck with me then because I'm in the zone by that time. Nobody fuck with me. I don't fuck with you. If you fuck with me by leaving these comments and shit like that, all right, cool. Fuck it. It is what it is, man. You leave the comment. Sometimes I may engage with it by writing something back to you. But if I feel like you go way overboard, again, man, you really got to go way overboard for me to say, you know what, man, I can't keep this shit up here. This is different than just attacking the motives behind a video, right? It's different than somebody. How can I say this? It's different when you're attacking the person personally as opposed to the content that they create, right? So if it's just now launching a personal attack, you're no longer attacking the subject matter. Now you're attacking me. What how can you counterintuitively argue against somebody who's just attacking your character as an individual, right? A lot of people who are, how can I say this, prideful, and a lot of people who have this alpha quality where they feel like the automatic assumption is to clap back, they're gonna clap back. And guess what? When you clap back to trolls, man, you can't win because all they're gonna do is keep coming. I tell people that all the time, man. There's two ways to handle trolls. If you clap back, they know that you got underneath their skin. Heaven forbid you get to the point where you actually give them shine on your channel and make a video about them. Then they really won. Like my man said, they do this shit for attention, right? So when you try to clap back at a troll who doesn't have a channel or doesn't have any type of productivity or production that you can actually see and visually, be able to say that they're really about something, then what's the point? What's the point of giving them shine? I personally laugh and I keep it pushing. Half of the comments where people were shitting on me, I don't even read until it's too late. A lot of people think that I actually read every comment that comes to my channel. No, half the time I miss them because y'all be leaving comments like super delayed, or I'm getting so many comments at one time that they all don't show up at the exact same time. So I overlook it, or it may be held in my approved comment section and I just don't go check it out. But it is what it is, man. I personally just let it happen, guys. You got to let this happen. This is the name of the game, man. People are going to shit on you on purpose. It's their job. Doc don't give a shit. It's kind of hard to hate on somebody who doesn't care what you say. It's like your opinion is meaningless. It's like, yo, who the fuck is you for real, for real? And why do I care? Why do I care about how you feel about me? They always told me, man, Doc, you can't get everybody to like you, bro. There's gonna come a time when there's just gonna be what I like to call a massive. How can I say this? Like when people just start unsubscribing to some shit, like you'll lose people and gain more some shit. It just depends on your opinions. For me, I've learned over time you can't let them people get to you. As a result, crazy. Oh, he said I was asking how long is the flight from the Philippines to the US or from the US, man? It depends on where you're flying from. Anywhere between 16 and 24 hours. Physical plane time, not including layovers. About 16 to 24 hours. I don't remember his name. Looks like a relatively older guy. He said, good, you are okay. Please keep away from the drama. It ain't worth it in my book. Oh, yeah, man. Doc gonna stay in this little corner of the world. People have asked me to make videos about the situation, right? I said, no, man. What the fuck I'm gonna do? What really? Why do I want to make videos about somebody trolling somebody else, man? Come on now. It don't work for me, bro. And I can't see myself getting the W when I involve myself in shit that don't involve me. If you ain't fucking with me, I ain't fucking with you. Oh, stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you. That was my favorite song. He said trolls will definitely do it to get attention. He's getting too much flag. Leave the dude alone and let him do his thing. You know how people are, bro. It is in human nature for people to hate. He said he paid his dues for his country in the Philippines and he's hated because he's loved. You know how it is, man. I just learned to leave these people the fuck alone. Y'all don't bother me, I don't bother you. But you know what, man? It comes with the territory, bro. If you're gonna put out content, please believe that there's gonna be somebody who doesn't like you. If you think that everybody is going to genuinely agree with whatever you're putting out, this is where you are sadly mistaken, my guys. But for me, I just operate differently. That's all it is, guys. I just operate on a level that doesn't allow me to really engage with people like that. Because that allows me to put it's like taking too much of my energy away from what I could be doing right now. Right? It's taking my energy away from what I could be doing right now, which is talking to y'all. Feel me? My man says, what's his name? My man Patriarch Turner, what's good with you, bro? He said it is too much pocket watching. Yeah, man, everybody want to know. Everybody want to talk about what Calvin do with the money he earns in the Philippines, bro. I look, man, let that brother. I don't give a fuck what my man does. He doing his thing. He doing what he wants to because he earned it, right? If y'all want to sit there and shit on somebody because you can't get it like him, you do that, bro. You do that. I don't think it's gonna help you more than it's. I do not believe it will help you more than it will hurt you. Because all that time you spend hating, man, and you ain't out there trying to get yours, all I can say is, man, do you, bro? It is what it is, bro. Like I said, man, gotta let people do their own thing. All right, ladies and gents, I think that I'm officially about to go ahead and turn down. Appreciate you guys locking in, man. If you haven't dropped your like, drop it on the way out. Doc would highly appreciate that one. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is. Time for the good doc to go and get to getting. So with that being said, yo, the good doc is officially out. At least knuckle, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahakita. Mabuhay. Peace.